Boat of No Smiles by Eddie Adams. There are photographs that don't ask for your attention. They simply take it. This is one of them. A black and white image. Open water. A small, overcrowded boat drifting beside a much larger vessel marked Police. On the refugee boat, faces carry the weight of exhaustion. A woman slumped over a makeshift shelter, children pressed together, adults staring with hollow eyes. On the police boat, armed officers observe from a distance, as if they are watching a problem rather than people. This is Boat of No Smiles, taken in 1979 by Eddie Adams, and it is one of the most powerful and least celebrated images in the history of photojournalism. To understand this photograph, you first need to understand the man who made it. Edward Thomas Adams was born in 1933 in New Kensington, Pennsylvania. He picked up a camera as a teenager and never really put it down. By his early 20s, he was a Marine Corps photographer documenting the Korean War. What he saw in Korea shaped everything that came after. A lifelong, almost compulsive need to stand at the edge of history and record it honestly. Adams went on to cover 13 wars across 4 decades. He photographed presidents and dictators, soldiers and civilians, victims and perpetrators. He worked for the Associated Press for many years, and his images appeared in Time, Newsweek, and virtually every major publication on Earth. But the image that defined him, the one that preceded Boat of No Smiles, was taken in Saigon in 1968. A South Vietnamese general raising a pistol to the temple of a Viet Cong prisoner and pulling the trigger. Adams captured that single frozen fraction of a second. The photograph won him the Pulitzer Prize in 1969. He spent the rest of his life conflicted about that image. He felt it had destroyed the reputation of a man acting in wartime, while the full context remained invisible to the public. He later apologized to the general's family. He said, and I'm paraphrasing here, "Still photographs are the most powerful weapons in the world. People believe them, but photographs do lie, even without manipulation." Adams was not a man who photographed for glory. He was a man who photographed because he believed that if you could make someone feel something, they might be moved to act. By 1979, the Vietnam War had ended 4 years earlier, officially. But for hundreds of thousands of Vietnamese people, the real exodus was just beginning. Under the new communist government, families fled by any means available. They packed into fishing boats, small wooden vessels never designed for open ocean crossings, and set out across the South China Sea toward Malaysia, Thailand, Hong Kong, Indonesia, anywhere that might offer safety. These were the Vietnamese boat people, and their story is one of the great humanitarian catastrophes of the late 20th century. The boats were dangerously overcrowded. There was rarely enough food or fresh water. Pirates attacked many of the vessels, robbing, assaulting, and sometimes killing those on board. And perhaps most cruelly, many neighboring countries, overwhelmed and unwilling, began pushing the boats back out to sea. The term for this was refoulement. It meant, "You are not our problem. Keep drifting." It is estimated that between 200,000 and 400,000 Vietnamese boat people died at sea. The numbers are uncertain. Many simply vanished. Adams was there somewhere in the Gulf of Thailand or the South China Sea, documenting this ongoing catastrophe when he made this image. What strikes you first is the tonal contrast, not just visually in the black and white grain of the film, but morally. 2 boats, 2 worlds. On the left, authority. On the right, vulnerability. The police vessel is large, structured, clearly in command of this water. The refugee boat is small, chaotic, barely holding together. Look at the composition. Adams places us on the refugee boat, among the people. We are not observers standing safely on the dock. We are in the vessel with them. That choice to shoot from within forces a kind of intimacy that is almost uncomfortable. The woman in the foreground is asleep, or perhaps she has collapsed. She is wrapped in what appears to be a tarp or a blanket. Her face is soft against the harsh surface beneath her, a face that belongs in a home, not on the open ocean. In the background, others look toward the police boat. Their postures carry a question that has no comfortable answer. Will you help us, or will you turn us away? The title says everything that the faces cannot. Boat of no smiles. Not a boat of sadness, exactly. Not a boat of despair. No smiles. An absence. The smallest, most ordinary human expression, simply gone. That is the quiet genius of Adams as a photographer. He never reaches for the most dramatic moment. He reaches for the most truthful one. Eddie Adams died in 2004 from ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. He left behind tens of thousands of images spanning more than half a century of global conflict and human struggle. His Pulitzer-winning image of the Saigon execution has been called one of the most influential photographs ever made. But photographs like Boat of No Smiles deserve just as much consideration precisely because they are quieter. They do not shock. They ache. There is something almost prophetic about this image today. In a world where images of people crossing water on small boats have become almost routine in our news feeds, Mediterranean, Aegean, English Channel, Boat of No Smiles reminds us that this is not a new story, that human beings have always fled, that the sea has always been both escape and threat, and that the choice of whether to help or to look away has always been made by people standing on larger, safer boats. Eddie Adams once said that a photograph can be the most powerful weapon in the world, but a weapon only matters if someone picks it up. The question Boat of No Smiles leaves us with is the same one it posed in 1979. Now that you've seen this, what will you do with it? Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this analysis, please subscribe and leave a comment below. What other works would you like to explore? See you next time.